You know, one of the saddest things about podcasting for most people, you have like a nice chat before, and then as soon as you like, then people get nervous.
You can see I'm sweating already.
How?
Makeup is gone.
Bathabile Moreki.
I'm good. And how are you?
I'm okay. You know, we sat
See
once
you.
on a podcast and I was frustrated that it wasn't our one-on-one because I've been wanting to interview you for so long. You're such a big deal. You're so
Really?
busy. You're a big deal to me.
Thank you.
I thought by now maybe you'd be in parliament, if we're being honest. I thought you'd be like the Minister of Small Business. Bathabile phela usene-budget ye-5 billion. You know? You're not going to go into politics.
I love to contribute to our country,
Okay.
business-wise,
Okay.
you know, in the economy, but not in the policies. Yeah, let me put it that way. I don't want to say not in politics, because business is politics anyway.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, but I think I don't want to be behind the scene.
Yeah.
I want to be in the implementation.
How's
like
business
how
going?
I'm doing. Yo, angifuna ukungasho. Very good.
Is it? Unemali?
Anginamali.
Ha,
That's why I'm
Bathabile
still
sicela imali.
pushing. That's why I'm still pushing. If I had money, I'll be on a holiday every second day.
KK, you can see the bottle from there. Must she put it close to her face? Just for people to be close to your face.
Here.
No, don't put it down. Just hold it.
Oh.
So to the camera there, if you tell people, what's that?
It's the perfume.
Okay.
What's perfume? Amazing, inspired design perfume. The Perfume Co. Africa is the brand here.
Okay.
Thank you.
You've been selling for how long now, the Perfume Co?
Will be 5 years this year, August,
Yeah.
because I started in 2021,
Sure.
August, just after COVID.
So for someone who's meeting you for the first time, asking why did you create a perfume company at all? I know
well-
why, but for someone who's hearing it for the first time.
Okay.
Or
if
have
I
you
can
forgotten?
say it's no. It was out of survival. Yeah. After COVID, remember, I was doing other businesses and
Yes.
they started being slow. And I thought, hey, the things that we've been learning as an entrepreneur to diversify,
Yeah.
let me also diversify.
Yeah.
And I diversified with eucalyptus oil. Remember the steaming during COVID? Then the business died when people started vaccinating and we
Sure.
were going back to normal.
Sure.
Yeah. So Shem, one of the suppliers that I was buying from, they loved my business because I was buying in volumes.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to lose me as a client. Then it's like, hey, Sisi, let's us introduce you to something else.
Yeah.
Don't you want to do perfumes? Like, yo, cheap perfumes in the black market.
Sure.
But at the same time, I thought, you know, when I used to work for government and corporate, I remember there was even more Marlboro, a company that will make sale for these international brands. Hey, so tatalama bags amakhulu siyo re tsoge ka bo 4 a.m. to queue there. So I'm like, hey man, I've always loved perfumes. Why don't I think I can get people to buy?
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I thought, do I really, really have a choice now? Because I need to get into another business.
Yeah.
You know, because yes, the businesses had opened up, you know, because I'm in the fast food franchises. But man, they were so slow. Remember, people were not trusting anymore. People were now used to eating at home and other alternative takeouts.
Sure.
Because during COVID, people came with a lot of creativities.
Sure.
And the delivery business also incorporated a lot of menus. Yeah, but so our fast food were not like now the most favorites. So I thought, let me just do something.
Yeah.
Then I took the opportunity and I started first with just distribution. I got another supplier where I was just buying to resell as a side hustle. Remember,
Sure.
I still had my own main businesses. So it was like, okay, it's a side hustle. You know, the side hustle took over big time. So I saw a lot of demand. Yeah, and then 2 years later, I started now doing the distribution model when I was getting our distributors now, even paying them commission. At first, they were just buying from me and they will also resell. But they were like, no, people now come, you know, to buy from you when they've seen the product from us,
Sure.
but we don't get paid. Can
Sure.
you look into distribution model? I'm like, oh, okay, let me open up to that. And yeah, it's been busy since then.
How many people do you have?
We've got over 300,000 on our database.
That
who have
doesn't make sense
registered.
what you're saying.
I promise you, over 300,000 in just 2 years, not even in 5 years.
300,000 what?
1,000 distributors across South Africa, even cross-border. In just 2 years, not even 2 years, 22 months, because this new online platform that we're using,
Yeah.
we launched it in May 2004. It's
Okay.
now 2006, April.
2024, 2026.
But
Okay.
it's not May yet. So we are still in the 22 months with this
Sure.
new system. Then when we registered 300,000, when we celebrated 300,000.
Okay. I wonder if I should make this like a personal setting or for the audience.
So
maybe
even cross-border, we've got distributors in Lesotho, Botswana, Namibia, Swaziland. We even have actual offices now.
Really? So you got funding from the NEF?
No,
for someone who's
not for the perfume business.
not for the perfume business.
In 2013, yes, I got funding from the NEF for a franchise store.
So you got funding from the NEF, and that was the first thing that attracted me to you. To be like, hey,
yes, I was talking about it.
I mean, I don't know anyone who's been funded by these institutions. I know Bathabile was like, guys, I got funded.
Yeah, Shema was like, no, man, government, let me not be silent.
Sure.
Where they've done good.
Thank you for that.
So I started sharing the story and helping people. That's what I do.
Have they ever funded you since?
No, I never went back again.
Why not?
I don't think I needed more funding, hey?
I think you need more funding.
I started, now I think because I want to build a factory. Now I
think you need more funding from the ITC.
I don't want to take money that I'm not gonna put it in good use.
Yeah.
So
they funded you for franchises. Are they still operational?
Yeah. No, that one I sold, but I had paid them off.
Okay. Why did you sell it?
I had now expanded to another one, the 3 that were next to each other. But that first one, because it was my first time doing it. So I was struggling, man. There were a lot of things that were challenges. Like first year, I lost big time because of the load shedding. It was in the township. So that area was still very new. So the electricity capacity, and I didn't have generator.
Sure.
So I will lose stock because you have to throw it away because it's offish, because the electricity will go like a week. To animals, Pretoria. Even now, Centurion, they still experience cable theft. Now and then there's power cuts. It's hectic.
Okay.
So now I had to take more loan to do that generator. And then after we've done generator, the telecom lines, even now, they will steal cables for telecom lines. And remember, the business is delivery model. So without the lines, because the business depends mostly on delivery. Now, you are a first-time entrepreneur. You are not prepared for this challenge because you just thought, it's a business, I'm going to make money.
Of course.
It was heavy. And then I started maybe also trying to expand into the other ones. Now you are one person. Now the business starts suffering when the owner is not there.
Yeah.
Wrong products, customer complaints, theft, a whole lot of things. So I was all over. And in the township, I don't want to lie, the crime there.
It's bad.
They come in the store, they rob clients, they rob us. So I think I was emotionally drained with that store. Then luckily I had another one. So I thought, you know what, I'm not coping with both. And then that's when I sold that other one, and then I focused, but they were not far apart. Then I focused on the mid-range one because it was a bigger one. It had 3 shops. Yeah.
Is it still active? You still own it? You don't want to give a shout out so people can go support?
Hi guys, I'm there by Blue Hills Shopping Center.
Blue Hills?
Yeah.
Which shops?
Can I mention the brands?
Please, go for it.
The Dibonairs, Fisheries and Steers.
Okay. So you've got serious money. Oh, good luck, mahala. Ngizongena Blue Hills. It's like uBathabile said I must come get some chows.
I'll be sleeping every day if I had lots of money.
Okay. So you own 3 franchises at Blue Hills in Midrand. Dibonairs, Steers and Fisheries. This was all under the funding from the NEF.
No. Only the one in Olivenhout Bosch.
Okay. Olivenhout is tough.
It was Dibonairs. But there's money.
That's what you mean by Centurion.
Yeah, but it has money, the township. Everybody works there.
They own
businesses. It has money.
Your Oliven is like deep fluid. It's like Alex. It's not organized.
Sure. Now,
but there are a lot of people there.
I was now scared.
I'm so sorry. That's where you struggled.
But it had money. It was doing even better than the mid-range.
Sure. Okay.
It had money.
I'm so sorry.
Lie.
Okay.
Yeah, but
and then you made money for yourself, and you gained experience.
It made me get
then get another one.
Another one. Yeah.
People that see Black women, I don't know, maybe this is old thinking, but I know for many years when you see a Black woman as a business person, to be like, she's probably just managing on behalf of her
husband or the family.
Yes.
Everybody, when I started, I was 29 years old. And when I used to go to the head office or meetings, and then it's like, is your dad joining us? I'm like, one dad joining. My dad is unemployed.
That's crazy.
But sometimes I'll take him to the meetings because he was a very learned person.
Sure.
He used to read a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to help him with the contracts, but he never owned any franchises. He was unemployed since he got retrenched in 1989.
Yeah.
Everybody thought that that's why I don't even like to talk that I'm the owner, because people look at you and like,
you're lying.
Exactly. Now you have to kind of convince people that I own. I'm like, okay, it doesn't really matter.
What made you crazy enough at that age to think I can own a franchise, I can get funding, and I can make it a success?
I was in government, and the National Development Program had just been launched.
Sure.
And then I started reading. It was interesting when they were talking about how they want to empower Black people through triple BE and funding. So I was like, yo, I'm Black, women, young.
Come
I'm like,
on.
yo, hi, can I
just need a wheelchair.
Yeah, can I
Otherwise, I've got everything, Baba.
So I was like, yo, this is a nice opportunity. So for me, I was not even looking for a franchise, but there was one event I had gone through work, and I had it was women in business. So I think one of the CEO was from NEF. Talking about, even the NEF, we are struggling to get women Black in franchises.
Jeez.
I'm like, I'm here.
Sure.
I used to like to sell. I've always sold all my life, whether it's beddings. So it's like, I can have now a full-time business,
Sure.
and not work for government anymore, because I'm for the streets. I love to be in the streets.
I'm for the
Office
streets.
work, ihambe ngihlule.
Umlu, I don't know Umlu's surname. Umlu owned a Pick and Pay franchise, Osizweni Township in Newcastle, where I come from. And I remember him telling me a story when I went to visit him with a mutual friend, Uzamani Ngumalo, because we were very fascinated by his owning of the Pick and Pay franchise. And I met him after I'd met Umandla Sibeko, because he owned the first Black-owned Pick and Pay franchise at Kliptown. He was in his 20s as well. I just arrived in Joburg. And he asked me to make artworks for Mother's Day and Father's Day to make cards. So I met him. He told me his story. He was working with Desiree Thomas. She used to be a gladiator. She now works with DJ Sbu, Homegrown Farm. And Mandla, Desiree aside, Umlu, we sit and we ask, how do you get into Pick and Pay? And he says he was a TUT. He wanted to get into business, and he started buying those coin-operated laundromat machines. And at the time, we had these cell phones. I was normal cell C, where people pay and then they phone.
Their phone, yeah.
So he said he started there, and someone said, I see you like business. You should read newspapers because there's always events. And he started reading the newspaper, and if there was an event he went to where it was for Pick and Pay, and they were looking for Black people because they just bought Score.
Even now,
Black
ownership is still very low. Even women, it's still male. Even in the food, it's still male,
Sure.
white male, Indian owned businesses.
I'm telling the story because I'm trying to figure out. Kulufelo Maponya, his father, may he rest in peace, Matume Maponya, his brothers with Dr. Richard. And he owned, I think he was the first before his brother to have a Toyota dealership that butcheries
it's also
and
franchise.
He told me that the father used to read newspapers and he came across this thing of this BE and they're looking for. How important is that? Because it seems like I'm
saying that's why I used to go with my dad, because when I mentioned to say, yo, I think I've got this opportunity that I want to try franchising. I even have pictures where my dad will say, there are even franchise expos. I was like, really? Because he saw them on newspaper. And then we booked one. I think it was somewhere in the Dome. The first one that we went to, it was in the Dome. The second one we went to, it was here at Kayalami.
Okay.
So he was very open-minded about it. Like, no, at least there you can get mentorship. They are there to help you set up, unlike starting your own business. So he educated me a lot on even my reports. I will share with him, and then he will guide me. You know.
Do you still? I don't know about newspapers. Do you still follow up on events and opportunities because of that?
That's for me. I feel that that's how I started my businesses. Is through those events. That's how I scaled up, because those events, to be honest, you meet like-minded people.
Sure.
You meet industry leaders. You meet funders. You know, remember today I was telling you that I'm from the government event.
Yes.
Where the funders are there, and then they start sharing information that you will not have seen it. Remember, government don't have a good communication, I think,
100%.
to share the programs that they do and you know. So for me, I believe that, you know, as an entrepreneur, you cannot just be on your own. You just need to have some association that you know what, here I can get this information, because you cannot get the money or the resources that you need if you don't have information.
Sure.
Everything starts with information. For me, I'm still a go-get. Like, I'm always out there looking for these opportunities and events, because to be honest, they've built the person that I am. The knowledge that I have in business, I didn't get it in the classroom. I got it through different events, listening to different speakers, from corporate, from government, and other entrepreneurs themselves.
I used to attend those things and I've stopped. And I think you're inspiring me now to go back. Not necessarily for business, but to what you're saying.
There's a lot of
so much
information
information
on
there
social media
that you won't find anywhere else.
True.
Dr. Vivian Mokome is the founder and CEO of Dignity, Organic Sanitaries. So I interviewed her and her business partner recently. They've got these amazing pads, Dignity.
Yes.
They showed me a sample afterwards. They poured water. I don't know anything about pads.
Yeah.
And I identify as a man, I'm sorry. But the absorption was so impressive. That's not why I'm raising the story.
Okay.
She has distributors. And she spoke about, our mothers used to sell Tupperware. And I'm like, I've heard the story before. Bathabile has told me the story before. It was perfume. I know at some point you had gin as well. And you were saying, look, we can build stores. It's great. Or we can empower, like me. I had a side hustle. Our mothers are nurses. Our mothers are teachers. Our fathers as well. They can push themselves and make money for themselves. And that way I empower, just like Abo, Amway, Long Reach, whatever, multi-level network marketing, whatever it's called.
We also use similar model, but
Sure.
we are still in the franchise brand, because we are also focusing in building the stores.
Okay.
Yeah, because we want to give our communities even formal economy where they can even create jobs. Because remember, sometimes when you are just a distributor, you've created a job for yourself.
Yes.
But when there's a store like your Pick and Pay, you create even jobs in the communities.
Sure. 300,000 doesn't make sense. How have you guys managed
I
to
always
get...
take a calculator. I'm like, in a week, in a day, how many people are registering? About 400, between 400 and 500 people.
That's crazy.
Sometimes even 700 month end. I was like, people registering to be part of us, and eventually they start now being active,
How have you managed to recruit so many people?
Through our recruiters.
Okay.
Yeah, through our recruiters, because we have. That's why I'm saying that I know Dr. Vivian Mokone very well.
Yes.
I've been following her journey since she was in another company before she opened her own company. Beautiful story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that model is very powerful, because you now empower other people to be self-employed, and they can also now share with other people, to use the same model and also be self-employed.
You're giving me a political answer. I don't know what recruiters are. So you started selling.
Independent. We call them independent business owner. So I will share the business with you to say, okay, we sell the Perfume Co Africa. You buy this at stock price as a member at 99 Rand. You resell it between 200 and 250, and then we educate you on how to sell, about the product itself, to say, okay, why will people buy this product? It's affordable, the scent smells good, and it lasts, because remember, people still wanna not spend that much for a luxury item, but they still wanna smell good at the same time. So we educate other people to say, this is how now we sell. We host presentation where we train the teams, so they go out and now also get people. So if you are one person, and then I always make a model with 5 people. I get 5 people under me to say, okay, there's Penuel, there's Bathabile, there's Tabiso, there's Lerato, there's Vivian. Now there's 5 people. I teach them. Now they started saying, oh, I can make money. They also go and get 5 people each. Because remember, I'm one person. I managed to get 5. It's not hard to get 5 people. From your phone book in JL 5, then When those 5 go and get 5 people, how many have they signed up now? 5 times 5, 25. Then when those 25, they also duplicate. Then it's now 125. So you see how it's easy to duplicate numbers.
Do you get paid as the first person?
And you pay them,
As the first person, you benefit
get paid
from all of them?
From all of them. They also will benefit if they also do like you, what you've done. Go invite other people. So how we get paid from the same bottle, because remember, there's a profit that the company makes here. So instead of like your likes of your famous, like these big franchises where they're on billboards, on TV, marketing, and having big factories. So our businesses, most of them, we cut cost on marketing a lot. So we get people to market the business for us. So instead of the marketing budget that you've paid millions
Yes.
to other companies, we now focus on paying the distributors.
Okay.
So we pay them salaries, incentives, bonuses. We have travel incentives where they need to meet a certain again, sales target.
Sure.
Yeah, so to make it very exciting and motivating.
There's a dirty word that's always trended called the pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
So this sounds like a pyramid. I just want to figure out.
It's this one of network marketing is legal pyramid, especially when there's a product.
No, 100%.
Because at least you can see how are they making the money.
I think what I'm trying to figure out is, so I go and I recruit 5 people. They each recruit 5. How have you guys
just as an example, you can recruit more.
How have you guys managed to ensure that the commission, it doesn't feel like the first person is making the most money and other people are being not making as much?
In a proper way, in a better way, it must be fair. It must not be just because you join under me, automatically you'll always be the leader.
Yes.
In other companies, even let's say for example, our company, you can join today, have 100 people. I join after 2 months, have 20 people, but I can make more money.
Okay.
Because it's all about how you support your team. Okay. You know, in these businesses, you need to be an active leader of the organization. Like in any other company, once the leader is not active, the company, they will always say the company will struggle because the leader is not active or the leader is not training properly, you know. So in a proper setup business in network marketing, it is not automatic that just because you sign up before me in 2004, therefore automatically
you're gonna make more money.
Okay. Even with us, there are people that joined a few months ago that are making more money than the people that signed them up.
Okay.
Because they duplicate the business better. So this business wants you to be a hard worker. You need to be dedicated. You need to go out on the store and sell.
So perfume is still your thing.
Present.
You tried gin at some point.
Yeah.
What happened?
Gin, I love it. I love the brand. I love the product.
You love gin?
I drink gin most of the time.
Come on, girl.
It's just that to scale it up, sometimes it work on my conscience to say, I sell alcohol and in a church, I say, God, can I please have customers? What? Customers who must drink and take money and they become irresponsible. And then I stop praying about it. So it always works on my conscience. I'm a Christian.
Okay.
So somehow I'm still learning. I still love it. Hence I was focusing at first doing events so that I know when it's a gin event, you know that you're going to be drinking. So at least even the budget, you've set it up. That's why I didn't want people to take it home. Because remember, alcohol, there's still a bit of other people misusing it.
Yes, of
so
course.
Imagine people now misusing my brand.
I hear you.
I feel I'm a parent. I've got 2 kids.
Is that why you let it go?
I've not let it go. I still have it. Even in my house, there's still stock.
But you're not
I've
pushing it as hard.
pushing it as hard. But I think also the focus has now been with the perfume. Because scaling up, scaling up is hard. You know, people think starting a business is hard. Try scaling up.
The Premier of Gauteng, Opanyaza Lesufi, does not like alcohol at all. He's an advocate for people not drinking.
Yeah.
And I remember him promoting on Twitter, I think it was on Twitter, a partnership they had with Heineken in certain townships.
I remember that partnership.
And people were like, hey, Baba,
I remember
Panyaza, you said you don't. And he was like, look, we'll obviously make sure that it's responsible. But the moral dilemma is tough.
Yeah. So
okay.
I always say I'm a social entrepreneur. Yes, I love profits. But for me, I want to make impact. So now it kind of makes me feel like there was a time when we were doing some activation at some tavern. And, you know, after that, not that the person had drank our product, but seeing somebody just lying there, you don't know what time they're going to wake up, what time they're going to go home tomorrow. And I'm like, alcohol sometimes. Yeah, so I feel that it was just distracting me at some point.
I'm sorry.
But I felt, okay, let me just focus on the perfume because the perfume was growing in a very fast pace.
A good friend of mine wants me to connect you two.
Okay.
Ubuntu Odolo. He's founded Guantu Gin. Okay. I don't think he wants to meet you regarding the gin, but I know he wants to talk about distribution.
Okay.
And then he wants to speak about potentially seeing if he can assist with funding for the guys in perfume.
Okay.
That might be struggling with startup capital and the like. So
nice.
maybe we'll exchange numbers here
Please.
after.
It's always nice because we do have others in the system that have joined, but
Sure.
unfortunately, they're still struggling to raise money to buy
Okay.
stock. Even though you can still advertise, get pre-orders,
Yeah.
like other products. For example, Filba. You don't just get it in the shops. You order it, wait for a few weeks.
Sure.
You can still do the same model. That's how we also encourage other people to say, what, sometimes, advertise, get clients to pay upfront, order stock, deliver to them, or if you've got a leader that can, kind of help you with stock upfront, things like that. There's always a creative way, but if there's a funder, that would be very great. And the product, they make 100% profit, so they'll be able to even refund the money,
Sure.
and then she can also now go and reinvest to other people.
Okay.
That
What
would be
are
very
your
nice.
current stresses from a business perspective? What do you need?
Money.
How much?
Money. Couple of millions, because
3 million.
no, 3 million is one order of the lids, a container.
20 million.
If we can have stock for 6 months and a factory, we could look into like 80 to 100 million.
You need 100 million. To build a factory?
To build a factory and also buy machines. Because the one that we are using, they are already like feeling it because it's every day.
Are those your machines?
We bought machines. We even bought another one from China.
Yeah.
Because the big one, we don't have it in South Africa.
Sure.
So we had to import from China. And yeah, we are buying some stock now from China, from the manufacturers. I went to visit some factories. So now it takes long. Like for shipment, production to be done is like 2 months. Because remember, they don't only produce for us, they produce for the rest of the world.
Sure.
How many perfume companies?
Sure.
So we are there by the queue. By the time they do our order, it's like in the 2 months. By the time they finish it, it's 3 months. By the time it comes by sea, it takes another 6 weeks. By the time it gets to us, it's 6 months.
100 million.
So manufacturing is hectic.
NEF can give you 100 million because I think they do up to 250 million.
Yeah.
I
So I think I
so
need to sit
NEF
down.
we must speak to, and then
and-
ITC as well, especially because you're doing manufacturing.
I must stop running around and selling. I must start being in the office more
Sure.
and doing my documents.
Well, you can attend the events and then go to the office. One of the guys
It's
who's
hard. The time after that, you are so tired. I'm still in the middle of those trainings. I'm answering how many WhatsApp. Can I have information about the perfume? One person can
Are you
ask
still
you
doing that?
10. My friend,
You're still doing that?
I still do it. Remember other people?
You've got a problem.
I'm still a small business.
You've got a serious problem.
Can I share you something?
Please
in our
go for it.
industry, ne? In our industry, in retail, ne? And especially in our black-owned businesses, ne? For me, what I've noticed is that once the owner is not active, people lose interest. It's like you are not believing in your own craft.
Pick and Pay is struggling,
I had
since Raymond Ackerman passed away.
Somehow they're saying, yo.
And he used to visit shops every week. Every week he used to visit shops and speak to cashiers and stuff. And I wonder if
it's also
it's that lack of being hands-on.
As a black-owned business, it's even worse.
You have to be hands-on.
You have to, because remember, other people, they want to join under you.
Yeah,
they
of course.
Believe that, no, I want to be under her.
Sure.
But I enjoy it. I love it because I'm
solution.
still learning a lot about this business. So through those interaction, you kind of get some more, I don't know, more ideas, more inspiration, more, why did you start this? Because sometimes you get this message, I'm a single mom, 3 kids, I want to change my, like people's stories. They kind of make you see that, sure, this business, it can actually have this impact to other people. So I think it's still also now me connecting more to the brand.
You have WhatsApp groups?
A lot.
Oh, Jesus. Still?
A lot. Some I'm still the admin.
Facebook?
Facebook, I've got some assistant now, but...
There's groups there as well?
No, not groups on Facebook.
Oh,
My personal and the office one.
Okay. Pages, not groups.
Yeah, pages. No, not groups.
Yeah. That stuff will drive you crazy.
Yo, just phone. That's why. What did I say to you earlier? I said,
Sure.
Can I please have a charger? Because once I forget my charger for the day, by 12 o'clock, that phone battery is...
Yeah, you've got 500 messages waiting for you.
Exactly. But I love it. I still believe that I'm in business development, part of their business. So I need now to get a CEO
Okay.
who will run now or what can I call it? Operations manager. Yes,
Sure.
who can run
A COO,
now.
Chief Operations Officer.
Yes, I think now I'm at that level where I need to groom a COO.
I was interviewing a gentleman today, Rendani Mashao. He builds swimming pools, renovates swimming pools, and he does leak detection for plumbing.
Okay.
CVP is the name of his company. CVP Swimming Pools and Leak Detection. He's scared of debt is one of the things I found out in our sit down. Where he comes from, he believes in saving. When your business makes profits, save and then reinvest. And I spoke to him about therapy, and I mentioned another entrepreneur, Lil Dlamini of H2O Triple H. He does water products. Do you think maybe you need therapy? The reason I referenced Lee spoke about when his business started making money, he needed a psychological shift in how to manage and grow the money. Because him and I were speaking about money, and the things I said about money, he laughed because he was like, "Oh, you remind me of myself." I won't say I fear money, but I've sort of been allergic to it to a point where when it's around and people are offering, I'd be like, "Oh, no, thanks. It's okay. Let me maybe add value." He's like, "No, you need to embrace money. It's spiritual. When people give you money, you take it so that they're like, oh, he takes
you for
it."
a speaking engagement sometime. I'm like, "How much are you going to charge me?" Your invoice came. I was like, "This is Penuel the brand. Is this the invoice?" I couldn't believe it.
So Lee said he went for therapy. And I'm wondering for you, because...
to let go of...
What you've built a habit, to be honest. And I'll tell you, what happens with habits, it's like drugs. If you had to sit in an office and have to have an operations guy, you'd go crazy. You'd keep finding excuses to be like, "Hey, let me just go check and make sure." So the therapy would be some type of training to say you need to slowly start letting go and maybe replace it with something else that makes sense to you. You feel busy, you're working, maybe you're attending events, but then
now I'm starting to love the healthy lifestyle, the walking, but there's no time. So I could channel it somewhere else.
You'd consider?
No, I should.
Maybe these are some of the chats we need to speak. We speak about
I'm happy
success.
about this because, to be honest, I've never had any discussion around that it might be bigger than what you think that, "Oh, no, I'm still a small business." That's always been my excuse.
Yes.
To say, no, I'm still a small business. No, people still need to get in touch with me, because if they don't get in touch with me personally, they feel like, "Oh, way poor now.
They want to touch the brand and what?
So, no, I should delegate and be okay.
It's a conversation we don't have. So we've got DJs, soccer players, amapiano artists, guys who are rich, and then in their 40s, 50s, when they're not as popular, they get broke. I don't think we speak so much about entrepreneurs moving from making 100,000 to 1 million to 10 million to 100 million to 1 billion a year, and what that does psychologically to you, your family, your lifestyle, how busy you are, because people crash. They get depressed, and then I'm a business hour.
When the owner is no longer there, and you wondered what happened.
Babu Mzoli in Cape Town, Mzoli's is closed. Legendary.
Mzoli's is closed. I thought it was
it's
fire.
Closed.
Or KFNL Fire Devon.
Mzoli's is closed. He passed away, Babu Mzoli.
Oh, yeah, he
closed.
Passed away.
We had Umzito here in Joburg. When I don't know if you know Umzito, he was in Bram. He had one near Gandhi Square. I think there was one in Pretoria. But Umzito was a Shisanyama as well. He passed away, nothing. And, you know, we might be like, "No, Baba, it's because he was hands-on." Obviously, people that are haters will be like, "Actually, it's a whatever." The reality is we're not being trained. We're not being trained.
What you call it? My partner always says succession plan to say, but you know, even just yesterday, he was saying to me, if you will go to a hospital for 2 weeks, because yesterday I had a dilemma that I had a shoot with a TV in Secunda, and I had a client meeting in Sasolburg where I was taking clients to the entrepreneurs that I mentor. Imagine, I had now to leave the client in the middle, though I had my other team members there. Sure. But remember, the client expect is that expectation.
Of
The
course.
client expect me there. Then I had to cut and rush. And unfortunately, along the way, I got stopped. Apparently, I was speeding. I didn't even see that I was speeding.
Apparently, I was speeding.
I promise you.
With
I
your
didn't
sisters,
even-
apparently.
You know, there was a point where you see that, okay, I'm speeding. I don't know. Maybe I was just, the focus
Sure.
was not there.
Sure.
You know, Shem, the guy, ne, it was a hard one. It's like, you know, this one, ne, it's a very bad one.
Mm.
So my heart was so heavy to say, you know, imagine going to jail for not stealing or for
Yes.
not murdering somebody.
You were in a rush to
but
do
it's-
work and
exactly.
business. Yeah.
So it's like, no, but you could have planned better. I'm like, yo, but as a small business, once they said there's an opportunity, you said, I'm there.
Yeah.
When they say there's an opportunity, you just say, I'm there.
Yeah.
Because you still want to take this opportunity because you believe that they will help you grow their
Sure.
businesses. And then later on, then I was with my partner and then I was like feeling so down about the whole day to say, you know what, And that's when it was also like, you know what, it's that operation. Because I always say, no, I will hire an operations manager. We've got accountants now, we've got HR in line, but I think on the operations that can take a lot of my responsibility.
100%.
I'm still holding on so bad.
When I first
thanks
started
for
learning,
this.
when I first started learning about business, one of the things that I came across, because I used to read a lot of memes on Instagram, every standard business has got a couple of departments. Obviously, as a small business owner, you wear all the hats: HR, marketing, operations, sales, maybe some type of R&D, whatever the case may be. But what this thing was saying is, as soon as possible, document what you do on a daily basis. And then they call it fire yourself. Fire yourself from that job by hiring someone else. So I think we need therapy
God is
and group sessions.
communicating.
Maybe.
I think God is
If not
communicating.
therapy, then group sessions. Where if it's like, if you're making between 100,000 and $1 million a year, we have a gathering just to talk, like therapy, like being a parent. What's stressing you? You are my clients, abakoki, what? Hey, my landlord wants to shut it. And someone's like, oh, do this. When I opened my fish and chip shop 2012.
How you also in retail? So you understand the stress, ne?
Ah.
Oh, retail is not easy.
You know
Because retail is not for the...
There's
for
a
the
reason why I
weak.
have a soft spot for business owners.
Guys, retail.
But I had a fish and chip shop and I invited the
Which
brand manager
side?
for Fishaways. At the time, it was Roy Correa at the time.
Where was your side?
I was
Devon.
on Elof. No, I was here in Joburg.
Elof
Here,
Street.
just outside Gandhi Square. Penwell's Pot used to be there. I was still working at ABSA and Standard Bank
And you had fish and chips.
at the time, and I had a fish and I used to wake up
You're
with
so
my
busy.
white tears, drive to City Deep, because bavula 5. I think bavala 11 or something. I used to wake up, go and load potatoes in my Toyota Tez, go drop them off at the shop, go home, shower, and then go to work. So I
you
understand these
understand, ne?
stresses that no one talks about. So
It's a
having like these
lot.
group sessions where we sit and we just talk. So I had people come, and I remember my landlord was Gerald Olitsky, OPH. They own half of the properties in this Joburg CBD. If you ever see OPH, used to be a lawyer and then he became a property mogul. I met the founders of Nando's, Robbie Brosen and Fernando Duarte, but my meeting was with Robbie Brosen. He asked who my landlord was. I imagine at a certain level of business,
They
you end up
know
knowing
each
everyone.
other. Yeah, retail
I'm
is
like,
very
it's
small
OPH.
world.
They're like, oh, Gerald. They asked me how much he's charging me. So I say, they ask how much is that per square meter. In my head, I'm 26. I'm like, I don't know. They're like, no, you must know how much you're
shop,
paying per
yeah,
square meter. And then he was like, so did Gerald give you a good deal? I'm like, I don't know. I think so.
But
He's like, no, then...
End
you-
of the year turnover rental.
He's like,
Whichever is the highest, you must pay that.
He's like, you should have asked for 6 to 12 months of no rent. I'm like, I don't know what that means. You can't say that. He's like, you're starting up. Could have spoken to Gerald, asked for 6 to 12 months. Let's see how it goes. If it doesn't work, I'll owe you. If it works, then I'll always pay it back. I'm like, you see, you don't know these things until you have people
And
who
there's
can
a
mentor
lot
and
of
guide.
information out there.
A
hey,
lot.
that it could help us if it was just shared.
Yes.
Actually, I must document you. Are giving me a book idea.
You must write a
Especially-
book. We must have group sessions for
We need to have,
entrepreneurs to
yes,
say, if you're
yeah,
making over $1 million, please don't come. Under $1 million, come. We want to speak. If you're over $1 million, you can come and listen and advise. But
No, I
figure with
think,
your 100
no,
million
Penny,
problems.
There's a lot of startups discussions, guys, every day. But once now you make over $1 million and more, I feel that's where now everybody's minding their own business.
Yes.
There's nobody coming up and
Yes.
but on the startup, it was so nice. You know, like even government events for startups, there's a lot. And we get there, we are talking. Who helped you to get branding?
Yes.
Cedar. Who helped you to do this?
Oh, packaging.
Exactly. Remember, we help. But once you make over $1 million, now everybody's just driving their own cars there, and
Sure.
they don't. I can now with us, they always say, no. Once you start telling people how much you make, now you start having accidents. There was some trending thing now saying, no,
Shame,
once you
man.
start making money, you must keep quiet. Hence, black people, I think when you started making money, they mind your own business, because it's like when they're sharing. I share a lot in now. Last week I was just sharing that I bought a property. And the friend there, you see people say, no, people share a lot. I'm like, I'm sharing to educate somebody. I'm sharing to inspire somebody. Like how I started sharing how I got funding. I will share the steps. I normally host free master classes. Sometimes I charge for others to share, to say, this is how you get funding. This is how you compile a business plan. I'm like, why now is sharing now a bad thing? Because how will we know? Because scaling up, we are missing a lot on the scaling up. Because it's so hard.
You're in the wrong.
Scaling up, like now, you didn't know that you could negotiate such, and you could.
Yeah.
You know, like now I'm doing my other factory, and you're talking to people to say, no, I need 1 month free rent for petitioning. Yeah,
Sure.
I didn't know. I would not have known that if I didn't do franchising setup, because they do that with the landlords.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of discussions, even the square meters. I knew it through, because remember, Famous Brand is a bigger brand, so the support is bigger. I think your fish and chips was a smaller brand, so they will let you do your own lease.
Sure.
So for us, Famous Brands get involved. They will come and say, no, let me see your lease. No, ask them, the square meter is too high.
Come on.
The turnover rental at the end of the year, negotiate this rate, you know, and you negotiate and negotiate. So now with my own perfume, I'm managing to negotiate such terms. You know, even the credit, somebody when he says, I'm scared of the credit. But in business, it helps with your cash flow to take some things, not really on credit, to have payment plans with suppliers. Instead of paying them daily, you can pay them in 30 days. It kind of ease the cash flow up on you. You can now use that money to pay for something else. By 30 days, you've got some money. So now there's a ways, but now if people are saying we must not share, we share too much.
Let me plug 2 entrepreneur friends quickly.
Please plug me first with counseling sessions. I need.
So number 1, Talibani.
And
Banks.
the lady and the guy who's gonna now help some of our distributors to get stock, please.
Talibani Banks, who founded Spaza Eats, looking to disrupt Uber Eats and also creating a distribution in townships. He'll also tell you stories about townships and the struggles.
Can we get contacts for that one? Because we now distribute as well our own products.
Yeah.
So we might have the same, what you call, he can deliver some of our products in different townships where he's already trading.
Sure. No problem. So Spaza Eats.
Don't forget, because
if we forget, we'll remember another when the podcast comes out. The second one, he converted to My XPay. I'm listening to this thing you're saying about credits, because he's created these POS systems, which are written My XPay, which allow you to get loans. Based on your turnover, no credit history, no what. The more you trade, they can give you credit, which I think is so dope.
Yeah.
That's him.
Because it's like now they're buying you stock.
Yes.
And then, because I think they will wanna buy you something so that at least they know that you're gonna generate income out of that. Or
I don't think so, but he can answer. I don't think so. I know what you're saying. You're talking about
stock.
Because we see you're buying at Macro every week. We can maybe, I don't know if that's what they're offering. Because he was saying he's building a bank. And he wants people to be able to extract cash.
Okay.
What you do with the cash, I don't know. But he'll confirm if it's...
I thought
I don't think it's for stock.
Business.
I don't think it's for stock, but hopefully he'll clarify. The most exciting entrepreneur people don't know of is a guy called Lesego Modise. I sat with him on Convo. We spoke about we didn't speak about business. Lesego is a unicorn and he's a genius and he's unknown. He's not the only one.
Lesego, who does scooter.
No.
What's his name? He doesn't own some scooter.
I don't think
app.
so. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. There's another gentleman who Pindile Ranuga, another genius. I actually need to sit down with him because he's just built electric vehicles, by the way, in South Africa. People don't know these people.
Yeah.
Ulisihos does these things. I don't even know if I'm allowed to tell the story. If I'm not, I'm sorry. He would import machines from China. You spoke about importing machines and that we don't have. And he'd take them apart. And then he'd build them.
You?
So if you need 10 machines, he'd buy one.
Oh,
and then he'd build 9.
Oh.
Yeah. Another guy, Clifton, who does Clifton Early Works. They do uniform in the East Rand, Eguruleni. He imports, or he's gotten machines from Taiwan.
Okay.
Because some of the machines for textiles, you can only get in Taiwan.
Because very South Africa, we don't build machines
Sadly.
yet. But we're getting
You
there,
imagine
I'm sure.
taking those machines and taking them apart and getting someone who can be like, no, I'll build this thing for you. So that you don't have to worry. And because I'm building it, that means
Then
I
you
can
know
also
that you
maintain
can
it.
maintain them.
Yeah. Because some of the machines, you have to get guys from overseas to come and maintain.
Yeah, we had to buy a part now from China because our part became faulty. I don't know how.
Sure.
And we had to wait again now.
Hectic.
3 weeks. That's
Okay.
the challenge.
So yeah, the counseling thing we'll talk about. I wanted to ask.
You must host us as entrepreneurs
we'll
who are scaling up.
We'll go back to business. You went okay last
year.
What happened?
Hey, something very strange. I just started not feeling well, vomiting, became so weak, and unfortunately, I chose to travel because it was my daughter's 16th birthday last year, and she opted not to have a birthday. And I promised that, like, oh no, I'm going to Thailand. I'll take you with and your friend as a birthday.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but I was so sick. But I thought I'll get better.
Sure.
And then I traveled. I was not getting better. I was just so weak now, vomiting. And when I arrived at OR Tambo, coming back.
Sure.
That was that. Even I had to cut my trip short because the distributors were going to Bangkok. I was like, I'm not well. I'll be forcing myself.
Yeah.
And my kids also started having flu. I think it was too hot. They were also, I'm like, we've had enough.
Yeah.
Let's turn back to South Africa here. And when I got to the airport, that was the end of me. I collapsed.
At OR Tambo? At least you collapsed at home.
Yo.
Sure.
I know. I make sure that I'm not gonna. Even when I got into the flight, they asked me, "You don't look okay." I'm like, no.
Can we go home?
Yeah. Can I just want to sleep.
Yeah.
Because I knew if I can say I need to see the doctor, they were not gonna allow me to travel. I was like, I'd rather get sick at home.
Sure.
Even if anything happens, at least I'll be at home. Yeah. And unfortunately, I had to be admitted at the OR Tambo clinic while we wait for the ambulance. Yeah. And because I couldn't communicate, and my daughter went to check, because we had luggages. It was a bit of a, almost when something happens, everybody now panics. Yeah, up until my partner arrived, and then they took me to a hospital. And when I got there, they were like, it's bad. I ended up in the resuscitation room. It was hectic. I was in ICU for 3 days.
You were in ICU?
Yeah. And apparently when they did some scans, that's when they found out that I had a tumor in the brain. Yeah, so that has been the journey now.
Where's the tumor now?
It's still there. It's so big.
No, you're lying.
I promise you, the doctor wanted to operate me immediately. I was like, I'm a black person. Before you operate me, I need to go home, talk to the family, go to my parents' graveyards. We don't just operate. No, I was just scared. I was not emotionally ready. Yeah. And I think I was also scared that the school was about to open. So I was like, no, my kids saw me in hospital. I don't want my daughter to go back to school. She's in boarding.
Yeah.
And she left me in hospital because I could see that she was stressed. I was
sure.
like, can I just recover, go home? And then I think emotionally I can prepare myself.
Yeah.
But no, I just took the advice that let me go for second opinion.
Yeah.
So it's still a big tumor.
Okay.
But by God makes miracles. It's not touching the nerves of the eye nerves because a lot of that tumor, and especially when it gets that big, it starts touching the eye nerves. That sometimes it gets other people blind. Sometimes it requires immediate surgery.
Yeah.
So at least the eye nerves and all the eye tests
are not
were
affected.
okay. And then I had to go now to more tests. I had to go back to hospital for 4 days just for tests, like they do. It's like you are in a boot camp. Like you're not even resting, because I thought I'll be just bored in hospital. No, there's no time. You go from this lab to that lab to this sauna, to like a lot of, so they had to do a lot. So I'm still now under the treatment where they're trying to see that can they just balance things and with medication, treat it with medication before. But at least I got this nice, young doctor, black guy, that guy. He was like, you know what, I'm not gonna rush. I can see that it has not been like, I liked how he interpreted the results, because the other doctor wanted to operate immediately. Like, even in hospital, for me to get discharged, doctors had to come and try to explain to me, to say, you know what, this is bad. I'm like, can I just calm down? Because sometimes, if you are scared, I think that's what other contributes maybe to operations not going well.
Sure.
So it's like, can I just go home and be okay first emotionally before? There's a lot. I don't even have succession plan for the business. There's a lot of my outstanding.
WhatsApp, Baba. I can't be here in hospital.
I'm like, I can't be in hospital. My password is only me who knows. I'm like, hey, I need to put structures, please. But I think some other things, maybe it's, sometimes God makes things very in his own way.
Yeah.
I think it was a moment where I just needed to calm down. Yes. I have had a hectic 2 years. This perfume business, you've opened it, and then there's a time where I'm driving at night, going to Secunda, coming back. There's a time where another service provider, the courier service provider, they changed their system. It failed badly. People's orders got lost. Lots of orders. Customer member, they paid to you.
Sure.
They're shouting. I'm all over trending social media about bad service. I'm a scammer. So now you are onboarding new supplier. You are working day and night. Like, I will be at work from 7, 6, not even 4 a.m. I'm already on WhatsApp messages, responding to customers, because during the day I can't. Then you just bathing, you're going to work, you are there on your feet until midnight, 1 a.m. I'm leaving the factory. So I was sleeping 2 hours for over 8 months, over a year. So I think my body was crashing.
Yeah.
So I needed that rest, because the doctor booked me for 3 months.
Do you still need to operate?
If the treatment doesn't work, I'll have no choice.
If the treatment works?
And if the signage, the signs that is now affecting other parts of the organs in the body, then I'll have to operate, unfortunately.
If the treatment works?
I won't have to operate. It's still there, still big, but it will show that the medication had worked. Yeah. So maybe I'll just have to.
Jasmine, you're going to tell me a story, Guti. I collapsed. I was just dehydrated. I'm fine.
It was bad.
Okay.
It was very bad.
I'm glad you're here joining us, man. Bathabile, that means a lot to me.
I'm better, I feel better. I've started working as well. So I think it kind of gave me a knock to say, you know what, you also need to look into your health. Because sometimes you neglect your health because you are just rushing to serve. I'm now more, what can I say? You can see even my traveling, I'm no longer that intense.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a period that I will just, recently, because I was like, I've been out in touch with the people, let me just go back. But I think I'm not traveling as much as I used to do. So I'm trying to kind of find that balance. I'm learning to find that balance a bit.
You believe in God, you're a Christian, and God communicating and working through various ways.
Sorry, it's my alarm for my son to be sure that he's been picked up. Otherwise, I'll forget.
Do you want to check?
No, it's fine. I'm sure they've picked him up.
But we're going to be done in like 2-3 minutes.
No, it's fine. I'm sure they have been consistent picking him up.
But we'll check anyways.
Yeah.
You're Christian and you believe God speaks to you in various ways and works in miracles. This might be a moment for me to do a bit of research, because I haven't confirmed, but I've been told that my grandfather, my mother's father, passed away from a brain tumor. So I'm not sure if this is meant to be like a message to say, go and research on brain tumors so that you can educate people. And this is the communication, because
it's a brain tumor.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe there's a communication here now to say, you know what, let's educate. Because remember, health, we always talk about kidneys and diabetic and cancer, but there are
these ones we don't know. And you might
Things that they
find,
don't
you know, it
know.
was risky for you to leave the hospital without operating. But you've got a doctor now who, like you said, is understanding. So there's a chance that even in medicine, maybe there's things that we don't quite understand that could work, where maybe before people operate, they should consider. Let me show you about, don't operate on people that are stressed, because you might find the operation is fine, but because their stress levels are high, the operation won't be a success. So you're meant to get someone to be in a calm state before you know, and those become the lessons that other doctors can then use.
I think that's what got me scared, because during COVID, my mother had cancer.
Yeah.
He was coming for chemo, not chemo, radio, after the chemo one.
Sure.
Radio, what, I forgot the name. And the doctor said she's weak now. So yeah, she was due for another operation, but the report was like, oh, she's weak now. The operation will be done later.
Yeah.
Somehow the doctor at home said, no, you need to schedule you for an operation. She went to hospital. She walked in like, yes, she was still not okay, 100% okay.
Yeah.
But her body was not that strong. And unfortunately, after the operation or during the operation, her body failed. So for me, that's what I was scared of. I'm like, no, I'm not okay. Like, emotional, I'm tired as well. You know, it's been a lot of stress. I was in a very stressful period in business.
Yeah.
You know, the growth, the training of new people. It was a lot. We're hiring like every day. By the time you like, how did we get to 160 something people?
Yeah.
You are doing shifts, you are doing this, and then there's unions in, remember, small towns. You are dealing with some comrades. Like, guys, then there's labor audits. They go and report your business, and then you must now fix other recommendation. Yeah. So it's like, why is I not selling perfume? So remember, even this business, I didn't plan. You know, sometimes when you didn't plan things, you get a shock every day. So I think I was like, I'm scared, because I've seen it with my mother. Yeah. She walked into that hospital, and some reason I still felt like maybe if she could have waited for her body to be stronger, it could have maybe worked better. Sure. But no, God had her own plans. It's fine. You know, but to be honest, when you are not okay, a lot of things tends to go wrong. That's why even when you are not eating well, even if you just have flu, your flu becomes worse than another person who's a bit healthier. You know almost how body works. So for me, to be honest, I think we don't talk a lot about other hidden, and then the other ones you can't even see. At least diabetic, man, somehow you they show something. Yeah, some of them, they are so hidden. Imagine how was this tumor in my brain growing without any signs. Sure. I've been the healthiest person. Like even my medical record, I hardly get sick. Sure. You know.
I'm sorry about your mom.
No, thank you.
By the way, and I'm fascinated that you mentioned God as a her, which is a beautiful thing. How's I know we're meant to close off. How's motherhood been as an entrepreneur, and you've mentioned your partner a few times. How's a relationship?
Am I there? My man, this, my man. I told you the day I find one, and it's also I'm joking.
So my partner, and how's motherhood, and how's trying to balance a romantic relationship with business demands?
Motherhood is amazing, whatever, and I love the fact that even my kids, especially the young one, he loves being there at the business. When he's there, he even knows how to pick. He reads an invoice.
So you incorporate your kids into your business. You don't keep them there.
No, somehow. Remember, this business started in my garage. There was a point where
I've been to that garage.
They were even in the bedrooms. There was a time where even one of the bedrooms they had now to squash in one bedroom. Sure. Another one. So the business was just in their face. Yeah. But Shem, the little one, the son, he will tell his driver that his taxi driver, because there was a time where he was now using transport when I started to be so busy, that my mom sells perfumes. When somebody stops, even if because my house used to be not far from the gate, and I used to have like people outside, like it's either my helper or him playing. Then somehow people will stop there when they want to ask directions to other units, and then he'll be thinking that people are there to buy. Already is rushing. Mama, they want to buy perfume. So he's been so interested at the very young. The daughter, she's very much reserved. But if I ask her to say, help me count the stock, she can do that. And then she'll ask me how's business. There's some of the friends, they will tell her, no, our mother saw your mom on TikTok.
Beautiful.
But they've been enjoying it. And I think that they love the fact that I also have some time off. Yeah. Remember, when you're an entrepreneur, I can work from, even if you're on a holiday together, I'll just check my invoices, check my things. I can still get to, to squeeze in business, but have time for them.
Okay.
You know, if my daughter is playing hockey, I can go there. So business, it gives that time freedom as
Okay.
well. That's why maybe I love it.
Your daughter's
I love
turning
being an active
17
mom.
this year.
She turns like 6. Yeah,
She
she
was
turned
16 last year.
She's
How
so
old's your son?
tiny. My son is turning 10 this year.
Turning 10.
There's 9
You're saying your
years
daughter is
difference.
tiny.
Very. You think
Nani.
she's 12.
Hectic.
All
Okay.
everybody when she says she's 16, they go like, really?
Yeah.
She's very tiny and she only drinks water, so she loves her. Maybe she looks at me, I'm like, no, I don't want to be fat like her. So I think I traumatizes her. I was like, do you want chips? No, mommy, I don't want chips.
Sure.
So she's very health conscious.
But you're happy. You don't feel like business takes you away from being a mother.
Not
You
really.
specifically.
Because
Okay.
now, ever since even the small one, I don't know if you've seen her. I even go with her to interviews.
Okay.
She'll be just sitting there. I've always been a mom and very active mom.
It's called a mompreneur.
Yeah,
I think is the term.
I've always loved. Now
Yeah.
my kids, they are very well mannered.
Yeah.
My kids guys are very well mannered. So they'll just be sitting there. My daughter reads a lot, so she'll be reading a book, or my son playing on the game.
Yeah.
You won't even feel that they're in the room with me.
Sure.
They won't even come and say, "Mommy, I want this." They are not even demanding. They don't even like sweets. It's meals. Say, "Do you want sweets?" Because I want to eat them with them.
And then umjolo umshado as an entrepreneur.
Semnandi.
Nandi. Bathabile nisamathandweni.
You know, people used to make us feel, no, you women with money and businesses, no, you won't get stable relationship.
Ganti.
Ngalabazobuza mina.
Come on.
No, I can't. But no, in all honesty, it's a beautiful relationship.
Yeah.
Somehow we complement each other. We've got similar interests.
Okay. That
He's
helps
also
a lot.
now in like he's been in small businesses as well. He's in corporate, but yeah, he has small businesses.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot to talk about. We co-own the B&Bs together.
Beautiful.
It's his properties, even the one in Secunda,
Okay.
where I started manufacturing. It was his property, and then he let me use it, and we converted into Airbnb. And then it's like, oh, okay, this B&B is not bad. Like, let me also convert my properties in Benoni. So yeah, so we started. We thought we could have killed each other by now because we had these horror stories about couples and businesses doesn't work.
Sure.
We understand our roles very well. He's not
beautiful.
into this nitty-gritty admin and marketing. I'm more into admin and marketing.
Yeah.
He looks after constructions. So I think we complement each other very well.
Okay. Anything else you want to say before we close?
Thank you for this amazing opportunity. And I'm hoping that you could be, I don't know, back in touch with us entrepreneurs. You know, my partner always asks me, where's Penuel?
Yeah.
Because he once saw a lot of your podcasts. You were talking about, remember when I said you used to educate us about how Black people can come together,
Yeah.
buy things.
I was big on Stockfellas.
Yes.
And I need to go back.
And now you've just stopped.
I'm promoting
educating
Stockfella,
us.
the Stockfella app.
Yeah,
Tsepo Moloi. So people must download Stockfella, put their Stockfell on there and keep it going.
Okay, but hey,
I've always wanted to work with all of you guys.
Yeah,
all of you.
so now I'm here as the Perfume Co Africa. As I told you, want to grow in the KZN. You are from there. We also want to start using this facility that you've just introduced me to.
Shout out to M Studios.
M Studios. I'm gonna be personally hosting a lot of my events here.
Come on.
You know, and yeah, can you please come and be some in our perfume community?
No problem. Do I need to join a WhatsApp group?
No.
Maybe.
You can educate us somehow. You can be our...
I'll speak to Lesego about the machines. I'll speak to Ubuntu Otolo. I'll exchange numbers so you guys can chat.
I've got them in my head. After here, I'm going to send you a WhatsApp to say this.
Yeah, maybe Clifton as well. And then we'll see us building Owl City.
But don't run away from my question now. Can we talk about
we'll see us industrializing in Herschel in the Eastern Cape. But we all need to work together because we're like-minded.
Yes.
This is what I wanted to say earlier and I got distracted. You spoke about people that say, don't share information. Once you start making money, keep it to yourself. It's because, as Black people, we come from a history of poverty and struggle. We don't know, because we were all fighting against white people together. We didn't realize that Black people are different. And I don't mean in terms of culture. Oh, no, I do mean in terms of culture, but not cultural groups. I mean in terms of ideology and mindset. Okay. There are Black people that if you give them the information, if you teach them, they appreciate it and they pay it back and they pay it forward. The wrong people, when you share that information, then they misuse it and they harm you because we haven't figured out how to organize ourselves into groups. I think the Jews have done really well. The Muslims in South Africa have done really well. As Black people, we're this huge group, But to be honest, there's a smaller group of Black people that are passionate about business, passionate about Ubuntu, passionate about exchanging services and sharing so that we can make an impact. And then there are others who are just destructive, unfortunately.
My partner calling.
Kodwa sisiyaqeda siyaxolisa baba.
No, so I'm so
Uzosixolela.
happy that for me, I don't want to lie, Penuel. I think that's why I'm so oversharing now.
Yeah.
I believe that now, even with my journey as an entrepreneur, even the networks that I've built, Black people are really paving the way for me.
Yeah.
Like, we met Nalwen, you didn't even know me, but look at the relationship that we have.
Yeah.
You know, you are connecting me to things. You know, you invite me to your podcast. Even at NEF, I met that guy who was doing my application, and he detailed to me on email to say how I will need. Because remember, the application form is so overwhelming.
Yeah.
Then you'll run away and say, "Oh, hey, government." Yeah, but he took his time. He could have just also said, "No, information is there on the form.
Go sort yourself out."
Then I will ask questions. He will just detail properly to say easier way. Even when I was telling him like, "Yo, I'm blacklisted."
Yeah.
Because when I applied, I was blacklisted, and he said, "No, pay it off. If you can't, pay it in 6 months. Then after 3 months, come and do a plan, negotiate a plan with whoever that you owe, and then after 3 months, come and show us that you are now committed."
Yeah.
I felt that it's some of the information that is not there on the application form. It was a Black guy,
We don't celebrate those guys.
So I used to
Those
talk
are
about him a
superheroes.
lot. He used to work for NEF, and then he became independent. He opened his own funding institution.
Sure.
So I used to say, guys, not to be honest, Black people have really helped me to get information, to understand things, even go extra mile for me. Without knowing me, other people will say, "No, I give you connections, guys." It's just people that you connect because Libona, they see that what you are doing your part. So for me, I don't want to lie. It has.
There's
really,
a lot of us.
Really
about DJ
has
Spoo
helped.
that plug other people, that promote, that push. About Dr. Vivian.
No, we should not stop sharing, guys. Now, even if like now there's this lady Ulebu Gras about buying houses cash. I didn't know that you can negotiate with a landlord, with a developer to say, "I'll pay you in installment."
Sure.
And I've started using that model. It's so easy. Like even the one that I bought recently, the guy was like, "I'm like, you know about cash sales installments?" Like, yeah, we've done those models, but they wouldn't voluntarily tell us. So if she was not teaching us, we couldn't have known. Always taking bonds, paying interest. Yeah, Shema, I love her work.
No, there's a lot of us. We just need to find each other.
There's a lot, Shema, I don't want to lie.
And then we must protect ourselves from abatagati that are always praying for our downfall.
I always say, now my businesses, guys, it was God ordained. So whoever that is praying for downfall, Shem, they must hold their breath.
Bathabile Moreki, thank you
God
so much.
will now launch another thing for me.
Blue Hills, Midrand, please go and support Steers, Debonair's, Fisherways. Please, I'm going to plug you guys.
At affordable price.
I'm going to put links for Bathabile Moreki, the Perfume Co. You can find her online.
And my book as well.
And let's see if we can work together. And she's got a book as well.
How I started my business with a loan from the bank. So I'm sharing with people how I did it, even when I was still blacklisted. Because remember, there were stories that, if you are blacklisted, you can't get a loan. Sure. I've gotten loans and fundings. So.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.